Quick reminder guys, this is the last month that you can join my Patreon for as little as $2 and still get access to the entire archive before I tidy things up. Welcome to the unboxing review of the Huion 1060 Plus graphics drawing tablet. So those lovely people over at gearbest.com asked if I wanted to take a look at another of Huion's graphic tablet range, and I said sure, as the new 1060 Plus has been around for about a year but does have a cheeky extra feature that makes it stand out. It comes with a built-in micro SD card slot and an 8GB memory card, as well as having a better pen than before. So if you're curious, links of course are in the description below. Well, as expected with Huion, the box is display ready with a tablet on the front and very little real info on the sides, but with the overall product details printed on the back. Under the lid you are firstly greeted with a standard Huion thank you card, which is always a nice touch, and as ever Huion, you are welcome, no biggie. And glued into place amongst the packaging is a separate black card box on the left which houses the tablet peripherals, and out of these you have a pen holder pot which unscrews to store the spare nibs and a metal clip to install them, the USB connection leads to plug the tablet into your laptop or PC, and also the USB charger that connects to the back of the pen. Then you have the 8192 pressure level stylus pen itself, which is a descendant from their standard tablet model but does come with the higher levels of pressure sensitivity. Then there is a 10 by 6.25 inch active work area tablet itself. It comes in two tones of plastics and has a relatively matte finish all over, and rubber grip pads on the underside so it stays solidly in place on your desk. Then underneath that is a warranty card, because we all fill those out, and also the product setup guide in lots of languages. So here's what you can expect out of a box. It's a fairly simple setup, but everything that you do need to get going. You've got the 1060 tablet itself, the setup guides, the warranty and thank you paperwork, the newer mid-range stylus pen, the carry pot and nibs, as well as the USB connection lead and pen charging cable. But as well as all that, to the point that it's almost easy to miss, you have on the side a micro SD memory card port. And with the tablet it comes with an 8GB memory card included. So here's how the Huion new 1060 Plus graphics drawing tablet looks in a relatively small desk space, and as you can see there is a lot of surface area to work with. But let's look quickly at the pen. Now Huion's high-end tablets come with a really nice digital stylus pen that has about 8192 levels of sensitivity, and Huion have introduced the same level of pressure range into their middle range pens as well. It does still really retain the design of the 4K level pens that came before it, but the rigid rubber grip near the tip does feel nice, and the buttons feel distinct and separate under your thumb when clicking. And the nib profile does sit a little bit sleeker out of the tip than before. It requires charging via the hole in the back, careful, and having its own battery source does make it a good bit more responsive than Huion's smaller passive pens are. The pen holder pot does feel like a relatively cheap afterthought. It does the job, but it isn't actually weighted and it does feel overly light. The spare nibs for the pen are stored inside the pot however, which keeps things tidy and comes with the clip you need to remove and swap out the nibs. The pen to surface feeling isn't too bad, but for me personally it's just a touch on the smooth side, even if I am just looking for issues. And as you can't really go too wrong with a desktop drawing tablet, there is a little bit of noticeable depression in the nib as you press down. This isn't dead sponginess, but just how the pen works, and if it's your first time ever using a tablet after drawing on paper with pens and pencils, do be aware that it's going to feel a little bit weird at first, but that you will get used to it. Also, if you need to get moving, the pen slots into the tag on the right hand side so it can all get thrown into one bag. The tablet itself is also a touch chunkier than some of the others as it sits on the desk, but not in a manner that makes it uncomfortable to work with. And its other big feature are of course the 12 customizable quick access keys down the side. Now assuming 2 of those will be used for zooming in and zooming out, that leaves 10 different common keyboard tasks, which is plenty. The ergonomics of the design does mean that your thumb might be left to operate the lower buttons with your lead fingers near the top if you're the type of person that would end up leaving your left hand in place during a working session. So in order to get going you just need to give the pen a charge, plug the tablet into your computer with a USB lead and download the latest drivers from the Huion website. Do make sure to grab the new 1060 Plus driver, the one of 8192 levels for Windows or Mac, as there are some very similarly named ones in the driver list. And the newer release of Huion software software is, as expected, relatively simple to use, and I encountered no issues with the setup or getting things to work in Photoshop straight away. So I sat down for a while to get a feel for what the Huion 1060 Plus graphics drawing tablet is like to use, and not too surprisingly, you can't go too wrong with a strong brand like Huion in terms of their simple desktop graphics tablet. As mentioned, the software was part of their upgraded range, so it's simple and easy to use and gave me the option to map the tablet to either both or just one of my monitors, although I do recommend only mapping one at a time just to stop your hand-eye coordination from getting thrown out of whack. The pen out of the box actually gave me too much of a heavy flow too quickly, so I did adjust the curve to drop a heavier line weight a bit more in sync with the amount of pressure that I was applying with my hand. And yes, that pen did have a bit of trouble in the nib that could borderline on spongy, but personally I don't get my cleanest work out of the non-screen tablet, so the wobble it gave me didn't impact too much on what is already a fairly messy drawing process. But I did notice it at first when I got accustomed to things. As for the hotkeys, I did remap a few of them to make things a bit more useful, but there's quite a few to commit to memory. They worked great and felt fine, and it did allow me to leave my hand by the tablet for a fair bit before I got into the swing of things. The outer non-work surface parts of this tablet can scratch relatively easy, so do keep an eye out when you're moving things around, but overall it is a nifty bit of kit. But if I was going to go out of my way to look for problems, I would want a pen that's a little bit less spongy, even though it otherwise felt great to use, and two of those quick access buttons could go and be replaced with either a scroll wheel or a slider bar instead. That being said, I would recommend this tablet happily enough, but do be aware that with any new tool it will take some getting used to, so don't be too put off if you're good at drawing but all of those skills don't magically transfer across to your digital art when you're getting a tablet, as it will take a while to get used to things, and that's completely normal. So thanks a lot for watching guys, I hope you found this quick unboxing review of the new Huion 1060 Plus graphics drawing tablet to be useful, and of course thank you to gearbest.com for popping one over for review. Their prices are indeed among the cheapest out there online, so links of course are in the description below, and I'd just like to drop an extra thank you out to British Customs and DHL for holding on to this tablet for 2 weeks whilst they scratch their heads over how much extra tax they were going to charge me, as well as opening up the package and cracking part of the plastic. You guys are the worst. But as to the rest of you out there, I hope you have a lovely week, and I'll see you next time. Take care.